This is the third van that we've converted on the channel, and as we've gone on, we're building more and more of the componentry in our vans out of 80/20. At this point, I probably wouldn't build anything structural in a off-road camper van out of wood. So we have currently been converting this Ford E350 into a tiny luxury overland camper. So far, we've really only done the window installation. We installed a massive skylight. We've already done a lot of design and on shape to get a pretty good idea of the dimensions that we want these cabinets to be, which I strongly recommend you do before you start cutting 80/20 because it's super expensive material and you don't want to be making any mistakes. First things first, we got to unbox all of the 80/20 extrusions. You know, after unboxing those, I'm starting to understand why they call this the adult erector set. I'm feeling pretty excited right now. In this van, I decided to step it down to use the 10 series 80/20 aluminum extrusions, whereas in my previous van, I used the 15 series. I did feel like the 15 series was a little bit overkill in general, and having all of those 15 series extrusions throughout the van actually does end up taking up a lot of volume. So in this van, we're gonna be doing 10 series everywhere. So let's go ahead and attach these two pieces together. First thing we're going to do is slide in our T-nut. Then we are going to take our bolt and angle bracket, slide it on top. We're going to tighten it down with our Allen wrench. Then we just need one more bolt and one more T-nut, and we just tighten down the bolt. So now we have our two pieces of 80/20 that are held together incredibly strong. Then you basically just replicate that a bunch of times to build the entirety of the framing inside your van. So although we only showed those 4 pieces for the demo, your setup's gonna look a little bit more like this. I have a bunch of angle brackets, a bunch of bolts. I do have some regular nuts and washers, but then we got a bunch of T-nuts as well. This right here is a small socket wrench, and this is a set of super high quality Allen wrenches. I'll put these in the video description below. This right here is a miter saw. I'll put a link to this blade in the description below. And then I've actually had a lot of luck with this particular model of miter saw because it has a light built into it showing you exactly where the cut is going to be performed. So now we have to make the decision of where do we actually start? I think the best thing is to basically just start and figure it out as we go. We have our first component of one cabinet here. So we've used these double tall extrusions for the floor pieces here because we're going to do the floor as one of the last steps in the van. When we put the faces on the cabinets, they don't collide with the floors. The floor is going to come up to here, and then our cabinet faces will start right here. I really don't want metal on metal here. Over time, they're just going to scratch against each other. And anytime I've had metal to metal, I get squeaking, which is very annoying while you drive. So how we're going to address that is by adding a thin layer of plastic. So I'm not going to go into a ton of detail here. I'm just going to cut the strips, put them on the bottom, and I'll show you guys the results. Basically the same thing that I showed you guys before, except for now we have a layer of starboard is the particular material that I used. Believe it or not, this thing took me all day. This took me about 7.5 hours to make, just this. Morning y'all, day 2 of this project. Component number 1 is officially mostly done here. We haven't actually mounted it to the van yet, but the structure is pretty much good. There's only one straight line that I could find in reference for this whole thing, and it was these bottom lines here. So I basically lined up this beam to be perfectly straight along there. I took these bottom beams and I extended them all the way to however long they needed to go to touch. Yes, we do have a gap here, but it's not a problem. We're gonna fill this with either plywood or whatever's gonna go underneath the eventual mattress that we put on there. So if we measure on the top surface here, we have almost 31 inches across. If we measure on the same bottom surface, we only have 29 inches down there. Now it is time for component number 2, which is the passenger side cabinet slash galley unit thingy. Okay, we have finished the kitchen galley unit cabinet here. We had to take a bunch of different important measurements into consideration. One of them is the amount of space we have to enter and exit the van here. We needed the right amount of space between the countertop and the edge of the bed there. And then we're gonna wanna take it as close to the wall as possible, but we also have to consider that we're going to put wall paneling on this side. We are at 25 tall before the countertop, 18 inches of inside space between the squares, and then 64 inches in total length. Same thing with the other side. This top piece doesn't actually touch the back wall. It's just a structural cube here so that we can mount stuff to it. Here's what it looks like from another angle. We also did the same thing where we put a layer of 1/4 inch starboard plastic on the bottom so that it is not metal rubbing against metal down there. So now comes one of my least favorite parts, but also one of the most important parts about the 80/20 install in a van, and that is mounting your cabinet frames to the vehicle itself. The first place that I want to start with the mounting is through the floor. That's going to be where we're going to get most of the strength holding these cabinets in place. This right here is a carriage bolt. It's basically a normal 1/4 20 bolt, but it happens to be able to slide in perfectly without twisting into a 10 series extrusion here. And when we put this through the sheet metal, you have a really secure connection holding this thing down onto the floor. Hardest thing about installing a carriage bolt is that we have to find the right exact spot to drill the hole into the van. The way that I'm gonna do it is basically mark both sides of the extrusion. Okay, we got all our Sharpie marks. So for the very first hole, let's go ahead and measure 3 inches back from the drain plug. We are good on the top. We can look 3 inches back from the drain plug, and we're also going to be pretty perfect there. Let's go ahead and mark the location here. It'll be about that far away. Hey, look at that. There's the hole right there, and we've got enough room around it to put a nice fender washer and a nut. Should be perfect. We're gonna step up from our pilot bit onto a 5/16, which is a bit bigger, as you can see, than the 1/4 inch. So now we got our first hole, and my goal is to get a good number of bolt holes around the entire bottom perimeter of this thing. Okay, all of the holes that we're gonna drill in the floor for this cabinet are done. We've got 1, 2 going for this frame rail right here. This one was the accident that we need to fill in. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom rail here. And then we have 1, 2, 3. One hole we did mess up on. I'm just gonna be able to seal this one. It takes like a week for this stuff to dry, so I guess we'll see if that holds or if it just completely falls through. So next thing I'm gonna do, you guys have seen me do this 100 times now, but I take this black spray paint, spray it into a cup, and then I use this little paintbrush to basically paint it on all of the exposed metal that we just created by drilling those holes. It is now time to actually put the carriage bolts in the bottom of this thing and see if we can get it lined up and dropped into those holes we just drilled. Before I even started, I realized we're gonna have another issue here. Since we did put that layer of 1/4 inch thick starboard plastic on the bottom of this thing, we're gonna have to drill the holes into that as well, and then we're gonna have to slip the carriage bolts through. So 1 hour later, and we have the exact same thing, but now with our carriage bolts sticking up, which are mounted on the inside of the channel. At this point, we kind of just gotta lay it in and hope that everything lines up. Okay, so everything lined up except for this bolt, which I need to widen the hole for because I missed the middle of the extrusion when I drilled it. This is probably one of those things that I need to figure out like a professional way to do. But when a hole needs to be widened, I just stick the drill bit in there. I put pressure on the drill on the side that I want it to move towards, and I just drill really hard and widens the hole a good bit. So here we can see the first bolt sticking through. So this one is big enough where we can use a fender washer and a nut. So our nut is loosely on there. Now we just got to tighten it down. All We're actually gonna leave it somewhat loose here because I wanna get them all loosely fit, and then I'm gonna go around and tighten them all. Some of these guys are a little bit trickier to reach. I can fit my hand back here, and obviously we measured it all out beforehand, but I'm not gonna be able to film this while I'm doing it. These spots are so ridiculously hard to reach that I had to super glue this nut to this washer so that I could like physically get my hand into that crevice that it needs to go and twist it on. That took way more energy than I anticipated to get at those crazy angles and bolt this thing down. And the results are insanely good. I added all these extra brackets to make it super secure. And this thing is not moving, not rattling a single bit. I can't wait to finish the other side and do the rattle test, but I'm pretty confident there will be none here. So now that we are done with this side, next mission is to do this side. Okay, we got this one done. It is also very strong. I want to talk about one more topic, and that is paneling the 80/20. So let's take a few moments to talk about paneling for 80/20. Our method is a little bit different. Let me take this panel off right here, which will show you guys exactly how it works. We basically use those exact T-nuts, put them in the extrusions. We have drilled a countersink hole in a variety of different locations on this panel here that line up with the extrusions. And then I just got these stainless steel bolts that came white powder coated. It looks really nice when you have the bolt in there. It'd be hard to guess that this van was even built out of 80/20, and it's super easy to just attach and reattach the panels every time you need to get in there. But now we get to go for the fun part and test drive this thing out to see if there are any rattles. So far, very initial impressions are complete silence. That one big squeak that you're hearing is the tire carrier. That's the one I have to fix. I think I just heard one of the washers that I lost fall off of the frame. I really think that that plastic layer of starboard in between the two pieces of metal are really adding to the lack of squeakiness here. I'm pretty stoked. So I think that concludes the entire initial installation for 80/20 in our new van build. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.